Welcome, everyone. It's so good to see you all here tonight. My name is Gloria Lybecker, and I live just outside of Spokane. And I was introduced to ASEA through Marian Palmer about 9 months ago. And what's really struck me about this journey that I've been on has been the people. I just love the people, the community, the camaraderie, the authenticity, and just the supportive nature of everyone. I'd say the ethos of this company is just permeated throughout all of the people. So having amazing support along the way, I've been astonished with how quickly I've been able to step into the business. I didn't know anything about this kind of a business, though I am a businesswoman and an entrepreneur. Things have come pretty easily, and there's been tough days. But as I said, there's such a supportive community that when the going gets tough, you know, the tough get going, and we all stick together. What's really possible when you step into this venture is because you're part of a community, you all rise together. And that was astonishing to me, but I actually got to go to Cancun. It was a trip of a lifetime for my husband and I, and we got to meet so many more amazing people that our community, our ASEA family has grown. I'm looking forward to more of that because this is a place that we are, I don't know, it's an answer to our prayers on so many different levels. And so let me take the time to share my screen with you. And I'm going to invite you to see a clip that shares, oops, going to put my password in tonight. A clip that shares how this all began for any of us. It's just a short, less than 7-minute video. You might want to take some notes. Let me see here. So if you have any questions, you can ask them afterwards.
I grew up in Salt Lake City, Utah. I took a degree from the University of Utah, managed some stores for Safeway, and then ended up going to work for General Foods Corporation. I was asked to sit on the board of a small company that had been working on a technology for about 15 years. Numerous patents, a lot of research, and they were actually producing a product using salt and water. And when they told me that, they wanted me to go on their board. I said, well, you're going to have to convince me that this is real. How can you produce something from salt and water? And they said, we have a lot of research, extensive research, $10 or $15 million worth of research.
Virtus agreed to join the board of directors.
So I went to the first board meeting and found out that they were flat out of money. They were $1 million in debt. We said, let's see if we can help them find money. We tried for about 90 days, could not. Eventually the company folded, and they actually merged it with another company, an energy company. And when that happened, that company started selling off assets. And I said, I am going to put a group of investors together and I'm going to take a run at the company. And over the course of a year, we discovered what the product was and why it worked. We developed what's called the mechanism of action.
They discovered the product was based on redox biochemistry, a new field of science that emerged near the beginning of the 21st century. Redox signaling is a function central to all forms of life. Redox signaling molecules are created within every cell of the body and are vital to the immune system and to cellular repair and replace mechanisms. As one gets older, the body's ability to make these molecules decreases, a function of aging. The product provided a replenishing source of the exact redox signaling molecules the body creates, and in the same balance, enhancing cellular health. Knowing the product's shelf life was essential, Virtus challenged a team of researchers, including Dr. Gary Samuelson, to find a way to stabilize the product.
And finally, after months, he finally came in and said, I think I've got the product stabilized. And we started testing it and found out that he had, in fact, stabilized the product.
After stabilization had been achieved, Virtus met with a group of university scientists.
This is stabilized redox signaling molecules, both positive and negative molecules in the same bottle, stabilized. And they said, how in the world did you do this? So one of the big breakthroughs is the fact that we can stabilize molecules that you're not supposed to be able to do that. The molecules in ASEA are supposed to be fleeting. They should all return to salt and water in just a matter of minutes, and they don't. So we decided to find 40 people and create kind of a focus group, and we started giving it to them. We did that for about 2 months, and we said, let's go out and find out where we are with these 40 people. So when we went out and contacted them, we found out that the 40 people had turned into 135, and the product had been shipped to 20 different countries. But in the meantime, we had contacted a friend, and he was running a very big pharmaceutical company in New Jersey, about $10–11 billion. And he finally agreed to send a group of people out and spend some time with us and see what we had come up with. So 4 people flew out on a plane. We spread out all of the research that we had out on the table. They started getting on the phone about noon back east, and they kept doing that, and about 2 o'clock they walked in the room and said, okay, we're convinced you've got something here, and it's significant enough that we will write you a check big enough that you won't want to talk to anybody else. And I said, what's the catch? And they said, you've got to shut it down. And I said, shut what down? And they said, you've got 135 people on this product right now, shut it down. People have problems all the time, and they deal with them as best they can. You're going to have to walk away. And that kind of took us back a little bit. In fact, I said, that seems a little harsh to me. And they said, you want to work with us, you walk away.
ASEA LLC opened its doors for business in July 2009 with just a handful of independent associates. Today, there are tens of thousands, and their ranks are growing exponentially every month. In 2012, the company announced its entry into Europe, the first of many international steps to come.
My wife questions why I'm doing this. She said, you've retired more than once, and it's time for you to join me, and let's enjoy the golden years, if you will. But recently, a young lady came up, and she broke down and started sobbing. And she had a health challenge in her family that was really severe, and she was introduced to ASEA. And because of what ASEA did, she was just grateful. So I find it hard to talk about, but that's a reason.
So I want to acknowledge that these products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or to prevent any disease. And now I'll hand off to my colleague and friend, Ruth Crea.
Okay, well, I would like to introduce Rhoda Ingstad. She's like one of my longtime friends, and she's on this journey with me. And she's had some tough health challenges this past year. And her ASEA story is just amazing. She's retired as a 3rd grade teacher. She's always loved children and supported them to grow and realize their potential in life. She's a heart to help others and pursued a side career as a Christian counselor. Rhoda enjoys raising dogs, making her own jewelry, and traveling with family. Her passion is for people to be supported to become who they were born to be. And she has greatly supported me throughout the years. So I would like to introduce you to Rhoda Ingstad.
Well, thank you. That was really nice. Well, thank you for letting me share on this program, and I really appreciate it, and it's an honor. Because I've always liked to do things, and one of the things that I found out after I retired that I enjoyed painting, especially painting the walls of the house. I never liked white walls. And so in Walla Walla, I used to go down to the store and have a guy really help me a lot. And And then when we moved out here to Phoenix, it was a 2-story house. And of course, I borrowed a ladder from the neighbor in order to paint the high ceiling. I didn't do the ceilings, the high walls. And then the dirt out here, if you can call it that, especially up north, is caliche. And you have to use a pickaxe if you want to dig a hole. And I planted a palm tree and different things. And when my back surgeon found out I did that, he said, "What?" He just looked at me like, "You've got to be kidding me. You use a pickaxe?" He told me I couldn't do it anymore. So anyway, it was quite a deal. So we moved from North Phoenix down here to Queen Creek, and we're just moving into a new house and doing all the things that you want to do. And all of a sudden, my legs, I became a paraplegic almost overnight. And it was like something you would never think of. And it changed my life because all of a sudden here I'd been unpacking and doing things, and all of a sudden I'm flat on my back in the hospital, and I can't even get up and go to the bathroom. And that changes your perspective in life. And so the next 4 months I was in the hospital and rehab in the hospital, and then in assisted living. And my legs just wouldn't work. I built upper body strength. And I got to come home at the end of June, and I was really excited, but all the things that I wanted to do kind of stared at me. But at that point, I could just barely move my right knee just a little bit back and forth. And I was really excited about that. But then along September, Gloria, my good friend, been a friend for a long time, Gloria Lybecker, she called me, and she knew how much I wanted to be able to walk again. And she said, "Rhoda, I found a product that I'm sure will help you, and I know it'll help you be able to walk again." And first I thought, "Oh, that sounds too good to be true." But I know Gloria, and I know that she researches things, and she doesn't just jump into something lightly. And so I decided to try it. And so one morning I woke up and I thought, boy, I didn't have any discomfort last night in my legs, and my legs weren't kicking. And I was on quite a few meds, but my legs still kicked and ached. And so I thought, wow, I just didn't have that last night. And that kept on going. And then I read that some people use gel on different parts of their body. So I started using the gel on my legs, and once you know, my legs just seemed to be able to, at that time I was able to move them a little bit to do some exercises, and I was able to do the exercises that the physical therapist wanted me to do. And I was always looking forward to that standing and walking, and they kind of hemmed and hawed, the physical therapist. They didn't want to agree with me very much, but I had my team was behind me, my family and Gloria and other people on here. And so in February, I was able to stand, and I was so excited. And Gloria, I think we have a picture. Do you have a picture of that?
I do. Let me share it with you.
There I am. That was in the other picture is where I was in rehab, and they let the dogs come visit me, and that's where I was most of the time. And then here I am in March, standing, and that you can see the grin on my face. I was so excited. And then once you know, pretty soon I was able to walk and with the walker. And that was really exciting. At first it was just a little bit and then more. And I went to a new neurologist and he said he was so impressed with me being able to stand in February and walking in May, and how good I could walk. And he, so I was able to share with him about redox. And so, Gloria, I think I have a picture of me walking. No, okay. Oh, I know what's first is, you know, in order to, people are doing things for you all the time. And I just wanted to do stuff on my own. And one of the things is putting on your shoes and socks. You don't even think about that when you're regular, but putting on shoes when your feet don't know what to do was really hard. But here you can see my nephews take a picture of me putting on my shoes.
Okay, we'll play that for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Oh, Rhoda,
My nephew's one of my,
the shoemeister.
yeah.
Look at that. Rhoda's getting her own shoe on. Get your smiling face. There we go. Another shoe. You're doing good, Rhoda. Look at that. Look at you.
This is the one that has to be over on the side. So,
Can you loosen
those
the
are
laces
tricky.
up a little bit?
It's this
Oh, there's the edge.
side, it goes down.
All right. Look at you.
Yeah.
Great job. I'll shut that door.
And that's how you do it.
Yeah, you did good. So,
Okay,
stop.
So anyway, that was the highlight, is me being able to put on my shoes. And actually I was able to walk before I could put on my own shoes. But then I have a picture of me walking. Ready?
Uh-huh.
So let me go to the next.
Yes.
Here we go. Shall I let it roll?
Yes.
Here she comes.
This is my sister. She's another one of my cheerleaders. So yeah, let me tell you, slow but steady wins the
Are you going
race.
to sit down or? Yeah, that's a good idea.
That's great.
So there I am. Now the next one that you're going to see down the road a ways is me being able to walk without the walker. That's my goal. So I just appreciate redox so much, and I know that that's what's really helped me a lot in getting the cells to talk to each other. And I know they're going, you know, get together, you got to get this going. Rhoda wants to walk. That's what they're shouting. So
Rhoda, can you share with our viewers, what was the dosage that you started out with, and how did you change it as you went along your journey?
yeah, I started out, you know, doing the regular 2 ounces in the morning and night, and then I kind of played around with it and doing different things, but now I'm doing 8 ounces in the morning and 8 ounces at night, and seems to be pretty good dosage for me and help me. That's what's gotten me through the walking so quickly and everything. So.
And what about the gel you talked about?
Oh, the gel, yes. I think I forgot to talk about that, is because boy, when something works is when you quit taking it and then you get all the symptoms that you had before, or you can't walk as well. And that's what happened to me is if I ever forgot or something, I'd know it. And so I put on the gel every night and especially rub in the areas on my legs that were numb. And I did a lot of massage myself. My sisters have arthritis, so I'm the one that has to do the massaging. And but I do, and that's really helped. And yeah, I love the Renew 28. It's just helped me a lot to get them, because I've lost, not lost, the numbing has gone away in a lot of areas of my legs, especially my right one. So, but the left one's coming along.
I remember one other picture that we could have added in here that we totally forgot about was your arm. You want to tell us about your arm?
Yeah, I was, let's see if I can remember. Yeah, I was having trouble with my arm, the upper arm. And so I was putting gel on the upper arm. And so I had this really nice upper arm. And then I had this kind of saggy skin forearm because I hadn't been putting gel on that.
So you had a two-tone arm, right?
Yes. So yes, gosh, all the other products are just great. So but those are the ones that have the Redox and the Renew 28 is what's helped my legs and me being able to go for the gold and the walking.
Well, so let's take some questions. I see Marian, do you have a question for Rhoda? You want to unmute yourself? We could hear you.
Rhoda, you are our miracle for sure. It's been so special to be part of this journey with you. And I'm sure Jerry, as a physical therapist, would say you are an A++ athlete. The workouts that you have done, the faithfulness in not giving up emotionally, spiritually, or physically. And I can remember the day we had a Zoom meeting and you said, do you notice anything, Marian? And you look bright and beautiful. And then you said, I'm not in my wheelchair. Oh, we are so thrilled with all the things that the people whose lives you've touched, you probably don't even know how much.
Well, at rehab, they'd always thank me for working so hard, but I don't know any other way to do it. I guess I'll thank my parents and for that, and but that's just me.
And besides that, every day you're getting younger. I mean, if you look at the first pictures and now, oh my goodness.
Yeah. Yes. So
thank you so much, Rhoda, for being willing to persevere, to stay on this journey, but also your willingness to document it, to be able to inspire and encourage others on their journey, to see what's possible.
Gloria, I have a comment.
Yes, Karen, please.
I've been on Team Rhoda since she called me at the end of last year and told me after your call and discussion with her about taking Redox. And she had just started taking it and was just super hopeful. And even we strong-willed, stubborn Norwegians have a lot of hope. And so I remember saying to her after listening to her talk all about it and about your visit with her, and I said, Rhoda, whatever it takes, I'm on Team Rhoda. Just tell me what I can do to help. And I don't have any sisters, but my girl cousins are like sisters to me. So that's how I feel about Rhoda and her sisters. So it's been a really interesting journey for me. Rhoda has been such an inspiration. She's also been, she's just warmed my heart with a lot of family connection through this, as we've talked about our parents and the things that we have in common of how we were raised. And I am just thrilled at her story, and I'm so proud of her for the journey that she's willing to share with others.
Yes.
Thanks,
thank
Rhoda.
you.
I love you.
Love you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. Are there any other questions or comments anybody'd like to make? Well, we'll just go ahead and hand off now. Thanks again, Rhoda, for being here. We look forward to the next edition of your
Yes.
journey that we will get to witness with you. And I'll hand off to Marian Palmer.
Okay, thank you. Well, I am honored to be able to welcome and thank our leader, Jerry White.
Yeah.
You know, he is a physical therapist. He's done amazing things with athletes, with people at the Gait lab that he's done. One thing that touched my heart today, and throughout the time I've known him, he's always been excited about a new book he's reading or a new conference that he's gone to. And just raising the bar for all of us, not only in our health, but in our mind, to be the best that we can be through continual learning. Being a teacher, that's important to me too. So Jerry, thank you for being our leader, our host, and would you please take over?
Very good. And Rhoda, way to go. That's just, I wanted to make a kind of a point for all of you who are watching this for the very first time. Rhoda's awesome. Hey, but so are all the rest of the people on here. Yeah. And so what's really going on? The science around what we're dealing with started with this idea that if the cells in your body could regain the communication skills they had when you were younger, they already knew how to run an amazing ship. What if we could return to that kind of communication? All kinds of things might be possible. Your body in control, just like it was when you were younger. So Rhoda has explained the kind of the first or the cornerstone for this technology. It's the communication tools. Well, as your body begins to start to be aware, we're not doing our best. We're messed up and we're on the wrong track. Remember that old saying that says, it doesn't matter how fast you run if you're on the wrong track. And to square up and have the cells begin to talk to each other starts an interesting process that we're now adding to. So if you're interested in trying to help somebody you love and care about, or animals, you know what, even plants, anything that has cells, then we apply that first technology. The second pillar to this is that technology is going to start indicating we need to do some rebuilding and some remodeling and some replacing. We need to protect and detect. And the cells begin to start to say, 10 minutes ago, we didn't know all this. But now that there's clarity, get to work. And as it gets to work, it's going to need spare parts and tools. So that's the nutrients that you take in. Now there's a world of nutrients, and the unfortunate thing is that you can read articles over here that says something's really great and something over here that says it's just not great, and that you could drive yourself nuts. There's millions of different types of nutrient pieces. So we put our scientists to it and said, if the cells are going to begin to ask for things to improve their environment, let's give an offering of we call it ASEA Via, which is a series of capsules that incorporate things like the microbiome in your gut, things like the fish oils that you need to augment heart and brain function, but did it in a way where in the last 2 or 3 years, the knowledge, like everything else, has increased dramatically. So we can now have the body supplied with materials that are so much more accessible than we've ever seen before. So we can start reducing a lot of the things that we take on the side to something that's really specific to work with this new arena called redox. Then we saw, as we began to look at the skin and the skin function, some fascinating things that allowed us to build an entire skin care system. And in that skin care system, supplying things that just most people don't know. We have a thing called an acid mantle on your skin. And a lot of the types of things that people use on their skin will actually take the acid away. Well, that makes you susceptible to all kinds of things. The acid is a protectant, and it's supposed to be there. And if we have alkali soaps and that kind of stuff, that can be a problem. We have the ability now to clean and cleanse the skin deeply so that when you use that magical Renew 28 technology, it can be absorbed into the system without taking other things with it. And it's fascinating, this series of amazing technology that remind the skin what to do, supply it with the tools it needs. And you should see some of the before pictures, the after pictures. That's our third phase. And then the fourth phase is a fascinating new arena where we say, okay, so all of us live in our day-to-day life with needs for focus. And some of the things that we see that take away the quality of life are a lack of energy. Just no zip. You get up and go, got up and went. So if we could supply some augmentive materials, and so we came up with little tubes, tear the top off and add it to water, that supply some of the most amazing technology or whole food type processes that make the actual processes that the redox is telling us to do much more efficient and faster. And we've doing it in 3 areas. One of it is mind. Sometimes the mind starts to wander or slip away, or memory starts to be reduced. That's a radical thing that if you can improve it for somebody, it's astounding. Another one's called mood, where you get wound up tighter in a 7-day clock. You don't know what to start with. And many people with anxiety and the type of just this, there's just too much going on. And our world poster child, you got to come on again so you can hear Ruth tell her story. She's the world champion using this idea of mood. It puts into your system the ability to be aware how to get back in control with a calmness, with a perspective change. Know anybody that could use that once in a while? Focus, now perspective, and calming the system down. And then there's a whole arena. This is a really interesting area where we add back the energy potential without forcing the energy overstimulators that you see in the marketplace. They're selling like hotcakes these energy drinks. The problem is they're forcing you to use your vital life force without sleep. It starts to rob you of your sleep. And then because you're robbed of your sleep, the next day you have to have more. And it can be extremely detrimental in a lot of different ways. Well, now we've taken the science of tomorrow, and we've added back the ability to put these together. Now, what's really kind of interesting is that they're accumulative over time. The mind begins to build a stronger, more robust, quicker, more responsive mind. The mood gets to put you in that position where you kind of rise above. You can see with perspective, you can calm your system, and you can put the effort towards it and the energy to just keep going all day long instead of just getting these short bursts and then dropping off the edge of the cliff and having to do it again. So those are 4 different areas that you'll find as you start to search through the technology that's available here. Then there's another piece to all we do here. Just imagine, this is probably the greatest discovery in the history of biology. We sometimes will say it's like as big as the discovery of human DNA and antibiotics. What are we going to do with that? Well, it turns out that we have such a safety factor with it. You can't hurt anything. It's something your body already makes and you're adding it back because you lose it with age and stress and lifestyle. It does not interfere with anything that your healthcare professionals are working with, because it's just turning on the lights so the cells can figure out what to do. As a result, we need to get it to the people. And as we get it to the people, we start to find that if we can gather together, I know our hearts all swelled when Rhoda told her story today, just to be a part of watching another comrade get back into the fight. And then we work together and we talk to people during the day. Just try this sometime. Go out and just listen. Ask people questions. Listen to where they are. There are a lot of different stressors in our world. And one of those stressors is most people are spending too much time trying to catch up to inflation, and then they're losing the run. So they give away their sleep, their sanity, their family. Start trying to do more. Well, what if we could teach each other to work together and then get a return on how big a group we develop and the distribution to those people who have needs for all kinds of things, whether it's looking like, did you know there's such a blink your eyes if you've ever heard of age discrimination? Have you ever? And people who have immense ability that are not being asked to come back. You know what? If you take the wisdom out of life, it gets pretty crazy out there. So we want to put the wisdom back. Then we want to learn that rather than becoming individuals who are sitting around getting our needs, our desires met, what if we could give? What if we could get over ourselves and go out and give? We'd find that it was much more rewarding, that we could develop ourselves to what we're meant to be. And then to be around other people who do that all day long, it's way better than watching the news all day. It's making a difference in the world instead of reacting to the changes with no hope and just kind of working. So those are all options that we have available to you. For some, you'll just want to get the technology, talk to people here. Let's get on it. But there's a few that see that they could make a difference in other people's lives. We've got a lot of nurturers here that like to make people. That's why we all go into coaching. You know, there's just something in us that just says, I want to see somebody else reach their potential. I want to go that road with them, maybe together. So then there's this other piece that says, why don't we shoot to have a better life? And it's kind of the credo of this group that we say, let's get better every day. Let's pull people back together. Let's begin to start to redefine a world that's becoming a little too individualistic with no support. And as we do that, it's the most remarkable run. And you start to get paid first and go goosebumps. Then you start to be able to cover the costs of the stuff that you're using to make your life better. Pretty soon you get so much better, you now can be a contributor. And when you begin to start to contribute, you watch these other people growing up around you, and you know that you're changing the world. So we leave the door open for all of that, and we want to welcome you to be a part of it. Thank you all for having me tonight. And I'll pass it back, I think, to Marian.
Okay, good. Do we have a slide for what's happening tomorrow? Every morning, weekday morning, there are a group of people who really do want to share ASEA with one another. And just to let the people in the world know about it. It's a teaching call. It's a call where we can share our struggles and our victories and our questions. And it is through this call that we met Candy Mills. She's a pilot. And when she first learned about ASEA, her body was broken. She had some real struggles. And so she is going to tell us about her journey, determination and perseverance. That is at 3:30 Pacific time. And Zoom idea is there on the screen. So do come and learn from Candy, and we're looking forward to seeing you.
Bye for now.